Well, today's little curious item is probably not going to get a lot of you excited, but I'm a bit of a collector of various grid dip oscillators, and I've probably got about 20 odd different ones from different sort of manufacturers, and this one came from South Australia, and it's been really nicely kept over the years, and the brand name is Tech, and the model is a TE15 Tridipper. Now, Tridipper, not sure, TR diaper, dipper, TR dipper, TR dipper I reckon would have been close. Anyway, this is great because it's even got your little earphone for listening for resonance. Basically, it goes from 440 kilohertz right through to 280 megs. So it's got all its bits and pieces for that. I didn't actually think it had the paperwork, and when I pulled the unit out of the box, underneath it was this paperwork. Oh, by the way, just a bit of a look at the unit. Fairly basic sort of unit in there, etc., etc. Your little elements go, tuning slugs. And the booklet is quite handy because when you don't let it fall to bits like I just did. But if you knew nothing about GDOs and what it was that you were going to be able to do, this paperwork's pretty good. It's really written up for somebody that possibly doesn't have a lot of experience and wanting to get used to how to measure tuned circuits and coils and traps and bits and pieces. Also goes into measuring the heterodyne frequencies and probably the most popular little bit, which is back in the day, using the TE15 as a signal generator, which is a great idea. Also as a relative signal strength meter, which of course you've got your meter on there to do that. So put your slug in and have a bit of a play around. But I'm not sure of the date of this item. That's hard. Unfortunately, the manual doesn't give me like a printed in, or not that I can see on a very quick look at it. Sometimes you'll get a date that something was done, but not looking good as far as that's concerned. But what is looking good is, yes, it's a really nice piece of history. And what does that say? Not really a date, is it? Just thought I might have got lucky then. But yeah, nice piece of history, and certainly nice to have all the slugs for it as well, and makes life a little bit more fun when you can use it all. And unfortunately, this has been plastic wrapped for a very long time, and I had to take the plastic wrapping off it to be able to get it. Just so that, and so whoever's done that, really, full points for that, because it's really kept it in, well, I think, immaculate condition. So there you go. Maybe on the YouTube comments, you can tell me, guys. Some of you guys are a little bit older than me. Tridipper, TR dipper, Tiara dipper. I'll be interested to know if anybody also has any concept of the date that this might have been. I'm guessing 70s. I've got some earlier 60s, which this just looks a bit more modern than that. So yeah, I'm thinking 70s. But just as a comparison, maybe, thought I'd just bring out the Grundig, and this was the Grundig version. Once again, all the coil sets are there, so really handy in the fact that you can just keep on sort of plugging in, etc. From memory, the Grundig was only 250 meg, somewhere around there, and this was a plug into 240 volts version, as you can well see there. And I just thought, and I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to just see if there's a date. Yeah, Germany, that's all nice. 1.7 to 250 megs, yep. And there you go. If we could find out Jacoby Mitchell, what sort of dates that they were trading as agents, you'd probably get a bit of a rough idea. But I've always thought this was a 60s unit. I've actually got two of these. This one came from my good mate John Isles at the Wagga Club, and it was just something that I ended up with two because I bought a very nice swan lineup out of a good friend of mine over near Port Adelaide in South Australia, and he said, "Hey, do you want one of these Grundigs?" And I'm yet to check. I may have two exactly the same. I may have two different ones. We'll find out. But unfortunately, that's a really good question. It's somewhere in this lot, I think. Actually, come to think of it, it may well be. We might find out in a second. But okay, so that's just a comparison of the Grundig unit, which I'm pretty sure was 60. So I'll just have a little quick look for that other one. You never know. I didn't quite find the one I was looking for, but this one came back from Adelaide too. Unfortunately, my GDO collection at the moment is all in big black boxes, taped up. We're using, as you can see, these types of boxes here. Because we know they're going to be away for a while, we're sealing them up, and I'll need to unseal them to put these in. But there's a few black boxes full of GDOs. But this was always probably the one that everybody, whether I've got this in Kenwood, I've got it in Trio, I've got it in Leader, but pretty much it was the one in the 80s that everybody was used to seeing. And look, to be honest, this was a great, accurate way of doing things. They, for the time, let's be relative, instead of, I use a AA600 rig expert these days to do most of my work, and but it was what it was. But yeah, but a lot of these GDOs over the time, they've certainly, they've done a lot of great service for people with antenna building, and my big job is to find out where we're going to store these with the others. So I've got to find a box for the other ones. I might actually have a little look through and just see what else might be on the shelves that we've picked up, because I'd forgotten all about this one. Had come out of Adelaide as well. But we did get a stack of gear down from Queensland, and I've a feeling if I go through some of this mess here, there's going to be more. I just think there is. One of those suspicions that you just think to yourself, I'm going to find it. Just after I pack these away and seal it up, I'll find one more. Always the way. So because curiosity got the better of me, this was the LDM 815, which, as I said, was a very, very common model. But I just thought I'd go for a quick look through. This is another 240 volt version, and this is the LDM 810. Unfortunately, there's a coil in there, but a little small one. I reckon we're one short of the originals. Excuse me. But once again, this one I'm pretty sure came down from a mate of mine in Queensland. It was a gear we bought recently. And you can just sort of see, the progression that they were going through, from here to back down to here. And megacycles versus megahertz, and all these, and this is another thing about dating these. Once again, I really would invite anybody in the comments section of the YouTube video that if you think some of the dates of some of these, it's really helpful stuff. So we can sort of make up our little bits and pieces to certainly acknowledge where they probably, sort of sat within certain dates. Approximate's good, so it's fine. Well, it's not a hugely extensive review on these. It's just probably more a dating exercise, and I think there's a good possibility that you'll be able to help me more than you know by comments in the area of the YouTube, because you may have some suspicions on various dates, etc., that could help. Got a comment just yesterday, and it was an email that was quite extensive, and it was somebody that was in a fairly bad position, and look, for their anonymity, I'll keep it anonymous. But what it was talking about was the fact that they're seeing so much equipment, and could they have some? And I won't go into their situation, but this was not someone being funny. They were truly interested to get involved in a bit of radio gear, and sometimes we don't realise it. This whole project that we're doing here, and it is a project. Sometimes our excitement can lead to somebody who doesn't have maybe quite as much, thinking, well, you've got 6 of those, can I have one? And quite seriously, when the person explained their situation to me, hey, I've got no problem with that. You know what? Hopefully we can help this person through their license and do something positive, which is good. But to that person, you know who you are, and you'll see this video. The middle box over there is yours, and I'm not even going to tell you what's in it, but it's coming your way. You're right, we had a few of those, and I don't need anything for it. It's no problems. But it's something I wanted to explain. When you're watching our videos, please understand, we enjoy this. We really do. It's a lot of good fun. People like myself, Rob, 2QR, Chris, VK3FY. Look, I could probably go through a number of my mates who are, fellow collectors who we just enjoy the hobby. And, collecting a few bits and pieces. Things are a little extreme here at the moment. I would 100% agree with that to anybody that, and certainly to this chap that wrote to me. But I tell you what, I'll give him full credit, because he wrote to me, he told me exactly who he was, told me his situation, and basically said, could I... He didn't ask, by the way, he didn't ask for something for nothing. He was quite happy to try and, work something out over time payments or et cetera, et cetera. But that sort of didn't really seem right to me, because I was able to pull something out of one of the shelves way back over there. It took me probably a couple of hours to repair it up and get it going. So I don't want you to make it sound like I'm some great generous person that's giving away millions of dollars. It was a radio that owed us, so not a lot of money, but needed repair. And once we got it going, I sort of figured, well, hey, and he's right. We probably had 6 or 7 of them, sitting there. Anyway, moral of the story is only do it if you enjoy it. Like if it gets to the stage where somebody else's bits and pieces are starting to annoy you, hey, maybe time to take a bit of a break. I've been through that position myself at times where, just other priorities and things happen in life. But also, if you have a need, and it's something we can help you with, hey, we're going to try our best to do that. There's not a limitless amount of funds, of course, that can go on forever. But by the same token, if we're talking about product that's sitting here where we've got ample of it, and we just don't need to have double, triples, blah, blah, blah. And your situation's one where you need, a bit of help. Certainly, drop me an email. Don't do it publicly. Look, I'm not going to be as active on Facebook and these sort of areas as much. I'd like to try and use our YouTube channel as more of a way to communicate, equipment and the love of it. But certainly email me at Brenton, BRENTON, at posnav, posnav.com.au. And if there's something we can help you with, hey, we're going to try. I'm retired, and I've got to say, you'd want to be at the moment with the rubbish that's here. And just to give you an idea, look, this is how much we've got to clean up right now. We really are And look, we've laid everything out for a reason so that we can actually get things sorted out. But from here, everything goes into boxes, and basically it's put away in containers until we're ready to bring them back out again. So we're getting to that final stage. Yeah, I just want to address that. I just felt that there are people out there who, like this chap, by the way, and I won't go into what his handicap is, but it's one that, man, I would hate to have, and I would be definitely extremely restricted from doing what I'm doing right now. So my heart really went out to him, and as I said, look, it's not a huge amount of money that we're sending over to him as far as the radio, but hopefully it's going to get him moving, and initially as a shortwave listener, but hopefully get him through his F-call. I've got someone teed up to help him with his F-call, so that should be good too. So, all right. Anyway, little bit on GDOs today. When we get the whole collection of GDOs out, I'll bore you for hours on GDOs. But we've got a few other ones we want to do fairly soon, particularly some of the little cheapy things you can buy. That little piece over there, the German receivers, you'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised what they can do. Very amazing when we do a video on that. They are just superb. All right, sorry there's a little bit of an element of the serious side to this today, but everybody's got their needs and different levels, and lives. Everyone's lives are a little bit different. So please feel free to talk to us about. I won't take offence. I really won't. I'd almost prefer to hear what's going on than have you smile at me. But behind the scenes, you're struggling in whatever way it might be, because we should be here to help each other. All right. All the best. 73s from VK3 Charlie Mike or Jack Daniels Whiskey 229 over here in Tangambalanga, Northeast Victoria. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Cheers.